Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Tony Pescatore. He is a poultry specialist at the University of Kentucky. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Now, today there's a lot of interest in raising birds for eggs, raising birds for meat, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how somebody would get started doing that.
Well, let's talk about raising chickens for meat. Once the COVID happened, there was a little scare or shortage of meat. A lot of people were interested in it. And when people are interested in it, there's a certain questions I like them to ask themselves is, why do you want to do it? Is the first question. Is, why are you doing it? Is it to supply your own meat? Is it to market it to others? What is your ultimate goal? The next thing is, how many birds do you want to process or produce? So that's a very important thing because that gears us to what's going to happen with you. And then the most important question is, where are you going to get the birds processed? Mm-hmm. And that's one of the issues that we are facing that's very difficult right now, is having a processing area for those type of birds. Because in order to sell to restaurants or at farmers markets or to schools, you have to have them at an approved processing plant, which is either a USDA plant or a state inspected plant. We have 2 USDA plants in the state at the moment, and we have 1 state inspected facility that is the mobile processing plant at Kentucky State University.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I know that some people in Bowling Green have tried to check that out, and there's some requirements that you have to have depending on your local municipalities about that. And so it is a challenge, but we do have those 2 plants. It's just going to take some planning.
It takes a lot of planning because there's lots of people interested and there's only so many birds a day you can process. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I ask people is make sure you have time at the processing plant scheduled for when you want to raise birds. And that's a question you have to ask yourself. When do you want to raise birds? Do you just want to do it partial year? Do you want to do it year round? If you want to do it year round, you have to have a year round source of chicks. And then the other thing people forget about is that when they start producing chicks or chickens for meat, it's probably somewhere between 6 or 8 weeks before the time the chick comes to the time it gets processed. And if you're going to do multiple flocks, you have lots of birds on the ground eating, that you have to have the capital in order to pay your feed bills, and you have to pay your processing bill before you sell the first chicken.
And I think that's probably a big realization for people, is because meat birds, usually we don't keep them as long as we do our egg-laying birds. And sometimes the breeds that they might be able to pick up at your local farm store might not be necessarily the best breed for the meat birds.
Right. They won't be as efficient. They'll consume more feed, have less meat yield. But then again, there's also a market for it. So that leads us to the next thing. What market are you trying to fill when you decide are going to produce birds? What is the niche in the market that you want to do? And with that, you not only have to have a place to find and supply your chicks, but you also have to have a place to supply feed and the type of feed you want. Do you want to do an all-vegetarian diet for the birds, or do you want to do organic or non-GMO? Those are things that every producer has to decide as they get ready for this.
Yeah, and then to maybe look at the economics behind all of it. It's a great concept, but like you were talking about, they eat a lot of feed, and we have to make sure that we have all that kind of factored in to that when we sell our birds or price the meat.
And then the other thing is, does it fit into your lifestyle? Do you want to have to take care of birds every day? Do you want to be responsible for marketing? Those are questions to ask yourself, and it goes back to the first question is, why do you want to do this, and what can we help you do to reach that goal? We have lots of publications on our website that deal with raising commercial birds or raising birds for the meat market. and people can get on our website and find those publications.
All right, so people can go there and access all the list of publications that would help them in pretty much anything to do with poultry.
Yes, that is true.
All right, well, I certainly appreciate you visiting with us today. And if you have any questions about raising poultry for meat, you can always contact your local extension office and we'd be happy to help, or you can go to the website smallflocks.net to find out more information. We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show, and we hope you have a great day.